All right. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. I'm America's Business Coach, Coach Jen Clarke, and you are watching Millionaire Fest, How to Become an Elite Entrepreneur in 3 weeks. We have a wonderful guest today. Her name is Tammy Drost, and Tyra's just bringing up the slides. So Millionaire Fest Summit, meet our speaker, Tammy Drost. She's a business and brand strategist, and she is a business coach, and she was rated as one of the top 10 business coaches in 2022. I'd like to introduce you to Tammy. Do you have anything you'd like to share with us? Oh, I think we have more information here about her. So Tammy S. Drost is an award-winning business and brand strategist and 2022 top 10 business coach. She's going to be talking on creating a business plan. With 20 plus years as a business and brand strategist, marketing executive, creative director, and head of operations in agency, corporate, and nonprofit environments, Tammy recognized that regardless of industry and asset size, each organization faced similar challenges. Through her 360-degree approach, she implemented award-winning solutions for large, complex corporations and realized they could be tailored to small businesses as well. In 2019, Tammy founded the Business 360 Method to equip female entrepreneurs with knowledge, strategies, tools, resources, and support to build a strategic and integrated business foundation that gets them down to business and back to living. Tammy speaks about business, brand, marketing, leadership, and self-confidence. She's a boy mom who enjoys traveling, kayaking, the gym, yoga, good books, and her 4 pets. I'd like to welcome you, Tammy, if you'd like to say anything about yourself and about your background, that would be wonderful.
Sure, and a special thank you, Jen, to you and your team. Anybody who hasn't connected with Jen, I would highly recommend it. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I am kind of a little bit about me. I have a background as a creative. I was a formerly trained designer and a creative director, but I also had, I was just short of also having a business and marketing degree. So I have both sides where, you have the creative and then you have the business. And what I found through my career is it's helped me really look at things from a strategic approach and be more on the proactive versus the reactive side of things. So I try to stay a couple steps ahead, but it served me well through my career so far.
Oh, wonderful. So tell me a little bit about what helped you create this 360-degree method with your business.
I started out as creative. I was on the agency side. And on the agency side, I was working with all business people and they would approach projects very much with a business mindset. And a lot of times they didn't necessarily understand how creatives worked and what the process was that they had to go through. And when I landed in the corporate world, I saw similar issues. I saw a lot of silos. I saw, as I went through my career, whether it was on the agency, the corporate, or the nonprofit side, there was a consistent issue of having a lack of streamlined business operations. There were a lot of instances where they had antiquated business processes and procedures, and there were some silos going on. And there was a lot of times there was a lack of connection and alignment between the business and the brand strategy. And then you factor in the branding, the creative, and the marketing part of that. And it just wasn't supporting the overall business and the brand strategy. So my approach after seeing that for 20 plus years is really to give it a holistic approach from the start, to work from a strategic business foundation. So that's one of the things I do is I make sure that there's a sound, streamlined, efficient business operations in place. that your business and brand strategies align, and that any marketing and communications are designed to specifically deliver on your business objectives and goals.
Fantastic. And you had mentioned with yourself, you had changed your brand from being your name to this 360 method because you wanted to pass it on as a legacy to your family, to your son. And so a lot of people are told to use their name as their brand, but that's you've moved away from that and gone in the opposite direction. Did you want to touch on that a little bit?
Sure. I think there's two schools of thought. And a lot of times, especially with a solopreneur, I call them solopreneurs, but when it's a one person band, so to speak, you use your name because you are the face of your brand. It's very much a personal brand, and you're the personality behind your brand. And for me, I took a look at my succession and my contingency plan. What happens if suddenly you are sick? What happens if you're in a position where you're no longer able to do the day-to-day or lead your own company? So for me personally, I opted to trademark my business methodology and set it up in a way that I can bring other people on. So yes, I'm still the face behind my brand, but I've set the structure up in such a way that I can bring on other experts. I can bring on other speakers that can handle some of the, the niche areas as my business grows. And if someday my son would like to take over the business, then he can do so. If not, it's positioned to be able to market it, so to speak, and be able to turn it over to somebody else. So that's kind of my succession plan, but everybody's a little different. It depends on what their business goals are. And that's one of the things I go through as I develop a customized business plan with them, is what does that look like?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty timely because both of us were kind of like coming down with something. So we pre-recorded an interview just in case either of us couldn't make it today. So it just seems so like perfect to have this strategy, this planning for, all the what ifs that could happen. So what other aspects to the 360 method are there other than the succession planning or planning out for what happens in case you're sick or something should happen where you can't always show up for what you do as in your position? What other things are there that you have to think about?
Well, I think that there's a lot of small business owners who don't have a business plan. And I actually did some research on that not too long ago. I came across a Barclay study, and out of that, 47% did not have a formal business plan, while I think it was, and that's small business owners. And of that total, 25% have an informal business plan, meaning it's kind of, up here, but not on paper. And then 23% have no plan whatsoever. And that was shocking to me because we live in a time where most of us won't get in the car and go across town to a place we've never been without GPSing it.
Yeah.
So why would we as entrepreneurs and business owners not invest in one of the most important things that we could possibly do for our business in order to set the business up for success?
I hear you 100%. So what can you do to encourage people to have a business plan? Is it something that's really daunting? Is that why 23% have no plan and 25% have just an informal business plan?
Well, I think a lot of business owners, they might think, well, I'm a small business. I don't really need a plan. I know what I'm doing. It's up here. But a lot of those small businesses that start in people's garage, they can take off pretty quick. And when they do, now you're suddenly put in a position where you're flying by the seat of your pants, you're putting out daily fires. And do you want to be the business owner that's doing that? Do you want to be working reactively, putting out fires, or do you want to be working strategically and getting to the next step on your roadmap to success. So I would say that a lot of business owners shy away from it because, let's face it, not every entrepreneur is a marketer. They're not all comfortable with research. It can be very daunting to them. So when you talk about a competitive market analysis to them, sometimes you kind of get that deer in the headlight look where, oh no, I don't need that. I don't want to do that. But what I found is that as you go through that, you go through the competitive market analysis, you really niche down into who your target audience is. You differentiate your business from your competitors. What starts to happen is you see opportunities that you really didn't know existed before. And it gives some insight. A lot of times as business owners, we're too close to the business. It's kind of like, you've proofread the document 5,000 times and you just don't see the mistakes anymore. Mm-hmm. So even myself, writing a business plan, I, went to trusted advisors and trusted friends and colleagues who I said, can you take a look at this? And they were able to point out some red flags that I didn't necessarily see because I was too close to it. Mm-hmm. And that gives you an opportunity to really head it off. It also gives you an opportunity to determine who do you really need on your team, because who you need might not really be who you think it is once you go through the process of building a plan. Mm-hmm. And it helps you identify your partners, your advisors, and really set you up for success.
That's fantastic. That's wonderful. So what do you suggest someone do to get things in order to create that plan? Do they need to have their financial statements, and what are those documents that they need to gather up to get that plan together?
Well, one of the first things I do is I do a kickoff call. I do a done with you business plan strategy session. And the reason for that is every single business is different. Every business owner is going to be different. Mm-hmm. So I want to get to know them. I want to get to know their business. I want to set them up for success from the beginning so they know what to expect, what's going to come next, how the program is going to work. But the course itself is a combination of one-on-ones with me, where I'm coaching them through an area that might be challenging to them. And that's going to be very different for every entrepreneur. One entrepreneur may have trouble with a succession plan. Another might have trouble with the financials. So it's going to be very different. And that program is able to be customized based on when they need me the most for those coaching sessions. And then they have access to the learning portal. They are doing some online training. They have interactive worksheets that they're using. So they're being given a lot of access to different tools and resources that will bring the business plan together. Wow. Yeah, we also take a hard look at their audience. Are they doing a business plan because it's part of their strategic plan? Or are they doing a business plan because they're looking for investors? Mm-hmm. So those two business plans are going to look a little different.
Yeah, definitely. And you were saying they don't necessarily have to be over all the different social media networks. They may just have one or two where their audience is. They don't have to spread themselves so thin. Did you want to touch on that a little bit as well?
Yeah, I think one of the things about a business plan, a lot of people do it and they think, okay, well, it's done. One thing I can check off my list. I'm going to put it away and thank goodness I don't have to look at it again. But that's the reality is it's a living, breathing document. It's a tool. It is one of your most important tools in your toolbox that you could possibly have. So it's not just about creating the business plan. It's taking that business plan and creating an action plan. Now you got the business plan. What's your actions? And so when you talk about things like marketing,
yes,
we talk through, what's your marketing strategy? What's your marketing plan?
Mhm.
And you have a lot of people who think that they need to be on all these different social media channels.
Yeah,
And the reality is, you might only need to be on one or two because that's where your audience is. You want to be where your audience is. You want to meet them where they're at.
mhm.
And if they're not, for example, your audience isn't on TikTok, you don't need to be there. If your audience is on LinkedIn, you want to be there.
Definitely.
So it's really a tool to not only streamline your business operations, but to streamline your operational management, your organizational structure, your marketing, everything. It really drills down to a custom plan to what works for you and your business.
And you also said that you wanted to look at their tech stack as well to see if they're maybe wasting money on tech that they don't need, or there's overlaps that are happening. Did you want to touch on that a little bit as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. One of the biggest challenges I see with entrepreneurs is tech can be extremely intimidating. And a lot of times when you're starting out, you don't have a lot of, funds. You don't have a lot of financial backing. So sometimes you're bootstrapping it. And what I found in my own experience is there's a tech stack, but they all have to integrate and work together. So what looks like, oh, this is going to work for me up front, you actually end up finding out, okay, well, now I have to add this to make this work. I have to add this to make this work. Now, all of a sudden, your budget has tripled.
Yeah.
And you're still stressed out and you're flustered and not able to get the tech working. And that's a huge thing in a business. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs like you and I have realized this.
Mhm.
And the ones who are techie have started to create their own all-in-one system, which is a beautiful thing for many of us.
Yeah.
But we do look at that. We look at what do you need to make your business run on a daily basis?
Mhm.
Where can you automate?
Mhm.
Because if you're a small business owner, you cannot be everything to everyone.
Mhm.
So you have to figure out what is it that your passion is, what is it that you love to do, that you want to do, what is it that you can do but you don't necessarily want to do. Those are the things that you might delegate.
Mhm.
And then what are the things that you absolutely are not comfortable with doing?
Yes.
Those are the things that you want to now hire those skill sets to bring them onto your team to get that done.
Mhm.
It's worth it to bring them on. And, a lot of times too, entrepreneurs need various legal forms
Mhm.
who, it's something that's important. Think about who is your accountant, who is your attorney,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
have insurance, who's the insurance person.
Yeah.
So these are all things that a lot of times as a small business owner, we don't think about because they can be overwhelming.
Mhm.
But if we do the work up front, we're actually freeing ourselves up to get back to living. We're not overwhelmed. We're not spending, vacation time working because we have this plan that we're working from. We have a roadmap that we're following, and it just makes life a lot easier.
Oh, for sure. I loved it when you said, what do you like to do? What do you don't necessarily love it or hate it? And then what do you definitely not like to do? And to get that first to be delegated out before, the next couple of levels there that, you don't mind doing it. And so to be able to categorize those things, I think is really important. And then how would you balance that between when to know when to hire and when not to hire, if you're hiring too many people or delegating out too much, how do you know where that balance is or where that fine line is?
I think that it's different because if you're a startup, it's, you would take one approach. If you're a well-established entrepreneur who's going back to revisit your business plan, it's a different approach.
Mhm.
But as a startup, focus on, what do you have for startup funds? And where are you going to get the biggest bang for your buck? What's going to be the thing? A lot of entrepreneurs overthink it. They're perfectionists and they really overthink things. And, I'm all about imperfect action. Get it up, get it out there. And because once you get something up and you get it out there, now you have market feedback coming in. There's some of your market research.
Yeah, definitely.
And now you can refine it, but it's out there.
Yeah.
And you're able to start making money and start making sales, get that market feedback. But I think it's for a startup, it's definitely what are those critical skills that you absolutely need to get your business off the ground and running.
Definitely.
They might be you need to get your branding done, a business plan, your branding. You need to have a marketing plan. If you plan on being online and you don't have a brick and mortar storefront, then you need somebody to set you up, whether you're using a marketing funnel or you're using a website. You need somebody to get you online. And you don't want to get online and not give any potential clients a poor user experience. So that's where you would invest the money. I always say less is more. So if you can't do a lot in the beginning, do what you can. But the most important thing is giving the client a great experience from the get-go.
Okay. So good onboarding experience and letting them know what to expect and where they're headed to. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I love all of this. This is really great. Tell me a little bit about like what you would suggest regarding like where to start with this whole 360 picture. Like if someone, like how would they identify their weaknesses? Like, because sometimes as entrepreneurs, we have some blind spots. We don't know where those weaknesses are. Do you have like an assessment or an evaluation to see, which area is weak versus which area is strong?
I do. And it's a beautiful thing because it's part of the process as you go through the process of doing the done with you business plan. You have these kind of aha moments where you're like, wow, I didn't realize that was an opportunity. But then you start to find yourself interested in certain areas. In other areas, you're just like, oh, I don't want to do this. I need some help. So you start to really see where your weaknesses are just by going through the process. And it's okay to have weak areas and it's okay to have those strengths. Even if you have a weak area where it's outside of your comfort zone and you're just not comfortable doing it, maybe it's creating marketing funnels. As long as you understand as the entrepreneur that, yes, we need marketing funnels. This is the purpose at a very high level. You understand, yes, marketing funnels exist. This is what they're for. I don't need to build them. I'm going to hire somebody to build them. That's okay. And I think that those things start to emerge as you go through the process and realize what you really want to focus on and what you don't want to focus on.
Yeah. And I love how you said that taking action is going to tell you, give you that market evaluation, because something that may sound amazing to us and we may think are amazing ideas and amazing things to do, but the market is going to dictate whether that's amazing or not. And I love that you say to just take action, because that's what I tell my clients to do all the time. I say, I love that movie. I've said it so many times with Tom Cruise, Top Gun Maverick, and training the, F-15 fighter pilots to go under the radar in between these, I don't know if they're concrete or steel walls. And he says, if you think, you're dead. You have to, don't think, just do. Don't think, just do. Go on your instinct and intuition. So I love to, promote that for my clients, to get them up and taking action and getting out there. But then in order to continue and sustain that, you need some kind of structure and order and planning, like you're saying, this living, breathing business plan document that can maneuver with you as you are staying, in that on that track, basically. So how can you can you balance both, where you're just like putting things out there, being spontaneous, not overthinking, because overanalysis is paralysis, but taking that action, but within the framework of this business plan?
I think the business plan serves as a foundation. It's really a baseline, because there's going to be market trends happen, and changes in industries happen. They happen every single day. Industries are designed to evolve. And so that's a great opportunity to pull out your business plan every once in a while and just review it and say, hey, are we still on track? And that's also part of the action plan. Whereas a business plan is more of a 3 to 5 year document, an action plan is more of a year-long document, and it's designed specifically to meet the goals that are set out and laid out in the business plan. So by, every once in a while having a check-in, you can say, okay, well, we're on target, or maybe we need to make the adjustments, because it's not set in stone. It will never be set in stone. It's designed to, be living and breathing. But the other thing it does that I found tremendously helpful is every once in a while you have somebody on your team, or maybe if it's even a client, come to you and say, oh my gosh, this is a huge trend right now going on, and you need to do this, and we should try it. And now's a great time to bring out the business plan and say, okay, well, let's talk about this. And does it align with your business plan, or is this something that's going to diminish your focus on reaching the goals you've set yourself? And maybe it is something that you want to do. Maybe you look at it and says, this is totally aligned with where we want to take the business, but maybe we're not ready, but it'll be a next year thing that we do.
Yeah.
And other times you can say, this is completely off strategy. It doesn't make sense for us, and we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So what it does is it just really positions you to focus on the bigger picture and hit those end goals, those longer term goals.
Yes. And you mentioned that 95% of the new ideas that come to you don't align to your business plan and your strategy. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them sound pretty good and interesting, but when you really get down to it, they're totally out of scope.
That's really interesting, because if you don't have that business plan, then those 95% of things coming to you, you're going to try them all and then be diluted in what actually works. And what I like to tell my clients is business is about all data, no drama, right? So it's not about how you feel about something. It's about what are the actual stats saying and the data saying. So, when you look at something, if you're doing something well and it's working, and like my husband likes to say to me, if something's working, keep doing it, keep doing what's working. Don't try all these new fancy things that, aren't proven. And whenever I've done that, I've noticed, oh, okay, he was right. I need to stay on track again, because the data shows, right? So how do you analyze, like, if your business plan is working, like what would be some markers or parameters that would like kind of indicate that this business plan is working, or we need to adjust? Are there any?
Well, part of the business plan process is developing some key performance metrics. So we would look at, is it that you want to grow your client base by 10% this year? Do you want to grow your membership by 30%? So we look at what are those KPIs, how are we meeting them, and then because those are the business objectives, those are the goals. Yeah. And then the marketing and the communications, those are designed to help reach those goals. So all of the marketing shouldn't be one-off marketing. It really should be designed to deliver on those goals. If your goal is to increase your membership by 30%, then you want to do some campaigns around increasing your membership and growing your membership base.
Definitely. So what do you think is the best way to grow like your income, like to become an elite entrepreneur? What have you seen with the data, with the business plans that work the best to help an entrepreneur become the best in their field or in their niche?
I think we live in a world where you see a lot of, you see people, for example, on LinkedIn that have thousands and thousands of followers. And I ask myself, do they really know them? Have they made a connection with them? I think that networking is one of the biggest things as a small business entrepreneur, building relationships. There's so many opportunities, especially when you're trying to build a company on a shoestring budget, of where you could support another entrepreneur. Don't look at them as the competition. Look at them, how can I support what they do, and how can they support what I do? Are there opportunities where we could connect each other to other sources that would grow our business? Are there opportunities where we could barter services because, one person needs this, the other person needs that? So I can't stress how important relationship building is. I have a habit of whenever somebody connects or I meet somebody at a networking event and I connect with them on LinkedIn, I always reach out to them and say, I like to get to know my connections. Can we book a networking call to see how we can support one another? No sales, just getting to know one another. And I found that that's been extremely successful. It's free, which is a beautiful thing. And another thing, for small business is, you can get grants, you can get investors. There's a lot of funding avenues that you can go down. But if you are on a shoestring budget, one of the things that you can do is really use social media. It's free. It's putting yourself out there. And, a lot of times the people that you don't necessarily think you'd have a connection with lead to the greatest things.
Amazing. That is so good. Yeah, it's all about people and relationships and building like lifelong friendships and connections. I love that. So when you're saying like about, building up this organically and it's free to build these relationships and networks and nurturing that to help build up your business and income and helping others as well in joint venture projects. When do you think is the appropriate time to then start to put some money into advertising or, that sort of thing? Or does it ever have to be that way? If you're doing this networking and relationship building well enough, do you ever have to put money into advertising?
Oh, I definitely think there's a value in advertising. I think it depends on what you're doing. For example, if you're doing let's say a virtual retreat, and you're inviting thousands of attendees, being able to advertise that, but also being able to do joint ventures with other companies or other entrepreneurs where you're kind of sharing that burden of the cost of advertising is also beneficial because it's getting both of your names out there. So those are some of the things I would recommend, but I always advise, especially startup businesses, max out your free opportunities. I can't tell you how many you can get on podcasts. You can write an article and be published for free. You can do social media lives. You can do events online at no cost. And it's all stuff that you can turn around and market.
Wonderful. So good. So tell me a little bit about what you're offering our audience today. Like, what is that when they get on a free VIP business coaching consultation with me? They're going to get some free things from you and some offers from you as well. So what are those things that you're offering them?
Well, I have a free business plan best practices, and that's kind of it's for anybody, but it's also for a do-it-yourselfer. So really what that does is it gives you advice on different audiences and how you might want to position how you write your business plan to those different audiences. It gives you some writing tips, also talks with you a little bit about the structure of a business plan. And so that's the freebie. There's also a free 30-minute business 360 strategy session with me. That session is all about you, all about your business. I help you hopefully solve one pain point that you can take away.
Okay.
And then last but least, I have my Done With You business plan. For anybody who books in with Jen, you get a $300 discount for that. So I would encourage you to book in with Jen, and instead of the $19.97 US, it would be $1,697. So definitely take advantage of that discount. There's a coupon code. I think the coupon code is Jen Clarke. So use that, and that coupon's good for the next 30 days if you want to book something. And I know, Jen, I need to get the link to you, so I'll get that to you.
Okay, excellent. Yeah.
And if anybody's not sure, if they're just not sure yet what they want to do, book that free call and we'll talk through it.
Definitely. Excellent. Tyra, can you bring up the slides and we can share what is being offered today? And when they get on a free VIP coaching consultation with me, they'll get one with Tammy as well as her free business plan, best practices. So I'm America's Business Coach, Jen Clarke, and this is my Quick Start Business Coaching Launch Program. I'd like to invite you to come on a free VIP coaching consultation with me, and you'll be able to get all the free offers and the consultation and the business plan from Tammy as well. So this is what you'll get. You'll get the free VIP coaching consultation with me, the 2023 business strategy plan, your quick start business coaching sessions with me once a week, one-to-one. Initially, we'll meet together more often until you get that quick enrollment that I'd like to see you have with the high ticket client, or usually it's not just one, sometimes it's 2, 3, 4, 5, or 35 to 40 or more, like one of my clients has had in the last couple of weeks. So it's not necessarily an income claim because you want to be coachable and follow my checklist to success. But I've had a lot of clients actually enroll high ticket clients the very same day as their first initial coaching session with me to even the following day. A couple of weeks ago, I had one client who knew she was going to have her initial coaching session with me. So she booked her 2 appointments that evening that she knew she couldn't close. I increased her rates and she closed both of them. And then another client enrolled on Friday of that week and enrolled 2 clients for $22,000, $11,000 each the following day. I've had a nurse down in Georgia who had no tech skills at all, got on the Zoom call with me, and she didn't even come on screen. And she says, I don't have Zoom. And I said, well, you need to get Zoom and you need to get a way to take money, like a payment processor. And I told her how to enroll people. And we got on the phone the next day because I asked her to book 3 appointments the following day. And I told her how to enroll them. And she enrolled all 3 clients at $5,000 each. So she made $15,000 the very following day after her first business coaching session with me with 0 tech. So I like to get people launched as quickly as possible. All right, Tyra, next slide, please. And this is my guarantee to you that you will have one high-paying, high-ticket client within 1 day to a couple of weeks on average, as long as you're coachable and you follow my checklist to success and you're paid in full. That's my 100% guarantee to you, or I'll keep working with you. It's not a money-back guarantee. It's I'll keep working with you until that happens. And so majority of my clients enroll high-ticket clients within 1 day to a couple of weeks on average. Worst case scenario I've had in the past was 3.5 weeks. Some clients are taking a little bit longer when I notice that they're very loving and nurturing and supportive. I attract a lot of clients that are very caring, loving, nurturing, supportive people. So they like to give, their services away, for almost like a volunteer. So I'm trying to, rein them in to actually realize their value and their worth, and that energetically they can receive finances in exchange for what they're offering in this world. And so that's one thing I work on with my clients as well. Because in order to make a huge impact in the world, we need these finances to come in so we can then reach more people. And so it's not a selfish thing to ask for some kind of exchange in that way. When you're paid in full, you get a pay in full bonus, which is a business startup kit where you get some graphics and some banners and Instagram highlights, your biography, your scripts, your script writing, copywriting, sales system, funnel, up to about 4 hours or so. Some people are very quick. We were able to get up a funnel up and running that looks so beautiful in about a couple of hours with her doing some of her own copy in between. So 2 1-hour sessions back to back, Monday and Tuesday this week, I think it was. And it looks so beautiful. The branding colors are like these beautiful pinks and bright colors. And she says, I think people are just going to enroll with me just because my funnel looks so amazing. And so if you're quick, we can get that up really quickly. But then there's some people that they like to take a little bit more time and they're a little bit more of a perfectionist. So then anything over than those 4 hours, it would be on your own, VA hours. Basically, we can provide a VA, but it would be the regular VA hours for that. All right. And so next slide, please. And you'll also receive 1 month free to my agency platform called Click by Click. It's an all-in-one platform that Tammy was talking about. A lot of people are wanting to go to all-in-one platforms. It replaces 77 plus apps and tools and software such as Kajabi, ClickFunnels. One client spent $2,000 recently on ClickFunnels. It replaces Keep. One of my clients spends $699 a month plus 99, and he was locked into a contract that he just completed. So he's moving over this month to Click by Click. It replaces MailChimp that I was spending $139 a month on, Teachable, Calendly, SMS texting. There's so much involved in there. And we have different funnels in there, templates that you can use, or you can actually import any funnel from almost anywhere in the world if you wanted to look around or look in other places for ones, and you can have that imported in. All right. And that's my gift to you. And also you get another month free when you have the VIP upgrade, the $47, where you get the recording from this summit and 2023 business strategy plan from me. And also you get, I think another month of Click by Click as well included in that. And so I'd like to invite you to become a VIP member in our membership called the Millionaire Mastermind Club, or what I like to say, the Master's Mind, because we don't just want to have just our own thoughts and ideas. That we get these $1 million downloads. I've had $1 million and even $1 billion downloads for some of my clients. One lady in particular I think of often is she's 68 years old, just before Labor Day weekend, came on a free coaching consultation with me. She had just spent $10,500 on other business coaching. She had also done a summit. Summits cost a lot, $5,000 sometimes on average to put on a summit. And she made about a few $47, like less than a handful of that for the recordings. And so she was a hard no when she came on the call that she was not going to enroll. And by the end of it, she was I'm all in. And she said, can you train me how you did that? I said, sure, I can do that. And so she had to come in on like a 0% credit to be able to, get into the program. And she had that paid off that weekend. So I showed her how to enroll high ticket clients for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. On Tuesday, she got on the call with me and she's like, oh, I can't believe how little I gave my program away for. I said, I told you it was worth 3 to 5 times the amount. Are you ready to go up? And she says, yes, I'm ready to go up now. And so she made over $25,200 by Wednesday. So 5 days from the first initial consultation with me. And then I said, I'm your trusted advisor now. I helped you go from like negative to like 25,000 plus in your bank. And now I want you to be a strong leader and take a leadership program, because she didn't have children. So she wanted to create a legacy. So I said, I want you to create a foundation, put the money, multiple millions of dollars in the foundation, direct it so that they live off the interest only or donations, and then put your name on the foundation, and your name and your methodology will live on and on forever. So this is really the reason why I want to help make millionaires and billionaires, preferably so they could do good in the world. Like my personal mission is to see clean drinking water for people in third world countries, mitigate world hunger, organic farming, stop trafficking, help orphans and widows around the world, and other good things. So this is a real passion of mine, to help create good elite entrepreneurs that do good in the world. And so that is my mission, is to help you on your ultimate mission as well. All right. And next slide, please. So the other thing is you'll get bonuses with all the speakers, all 21 plus speakers, all their free lead magnet offers that they have. You'll have those once you come on the VIP coaching consultation with me. There's also a link to submit your name and email, and it says IG handle, but it's optional. You don't necessarily have to put that in there if you don't know your IG handle, but definitely sign up for that. And when you get on a free VIP business coaching consultation with me, you also get pay in full bonuses from the speakers and those opportunities to work with them as well. All right, and next slide, please. And you can DM me VIP on Instagram at Coach Jen Clarke with an E, especially if you don't see, a time that is on my calendar that works for you in your time zone. Just DM me, a date and time that works for you, and we'll have either myself or possibly someone else on my team to connect with you. So just DM me VIP on Instagram at Coach Jen Clarke with an E. And you can go to coachjenclarke with an E.com and see my funnel that all my clients are using. They can choose any funnel in the world, but they all want mine for some reason, and they have it imported, put their brand on it, their picture and name and everything, and it looks amazing. That was the one that one of our clients did in 2 days and got that up and running. So go to coachjenclarke with an E at the end.com. And you can click on the button to book your call there, or if you scroll down the funnel, my calendar is right there, and then we'll get you connected with Tammy's offers as well. All right. I appreciate you, Tyra. Thank you. All right, Tammy. So is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience today, and just kind of recap again what you're offering? Because I think the way you explain it is so much better because you understand what you're giving everybody.
Well, first, I want to say thank you, Jen, for having me today. And thank you, Tyra, for all your help. And definitely booking with Jen if you can. My offer is as I said, I do have a free business plan, best practices, which is great if you're a do-it-yourselfer. I also have a free 30-minute business 360 strategy call, and that's all about you and your business. And you'll leave the call with one key thing that you need help with right away that you can implement immediately. So if you book that call, make sure you have something in mind that you really need some help with. Bring a pen and pad and we'll go through it. And last but least is I do a done with you business plan. I'm with you step by step, every step of the way. We have a kickoff strategy session. I offer 4 one-on-one coaching sessions throughout. You'll have access to an online learning portal with a number of resources, templates, and tools that help you really drill down into your business and figure things out. And you might be surprised. And then at the very end, you'll have a full business plan that's ready to present for if you need a grant, you need an investor, or you're going for a small business loan. Your business plan is going to be ready. And then you'll also, the last session that I have with them is a action plan session. So we make sure that that business plan doesn't get put on the shelf, that it gets used as a strategic plan. And it's a great tool to have.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's my favorite part, the action, because action is everything. And that's what determines the success and tells you exactly, what people are wanting and how to pivot and that sort of thing. So I really appreciate you, Tammy, for coming here, and you're a lovely person and an amazing person full of knowledge and wisdom. And I love how you look at it from all different angles, and you're able to help people with their strengths and their weaknesses and be able to, balance that out and help them to think about things they haven't thought about yet, and look into the future to prevent anything that could come up. And I really appreciate you coming today. It's been wonderful. All right.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys next time. I'm just going to go off Facebook Live, but we'll still be in here.